Hello viewers, welcome to my Doctor Who themed YouTube channel, Who Ventures, and in this video I am reviewing or attempting to review the very confusing Series 12 Episode 9, Ascension of the Cybermen, which is the first part of the two-part finale. So it would have been interesting to see how it's as a standalone episode, if it worked as a standalone episode within a two-part finale, but it doesn't, so a lot of this is confused. But I have a theory, so stay tuned. So we start with a Cyberman voice, and he's talking about the Cybermen were defeated, and then there's all these bits of Cybermen floating about, and he said, but they can come back as long as a true believer. And then there's Cyberhead, and we see the title sequence starting forming the Cyber eyeball, and then we go into the title sequence. But then it looks like, then for a minute it looks like they've skipped straight to Call the Midwife, which was on after, and is a man. At first I thought, my ignorance gave me that I thought it was Yorkshire because of the flat cap and the bicycle and countryside, and I really didn't pick up on the Irish accents at all. I thought it was Yorkshire until later on in the episode. I didn't, and when I read Twitter it's like, oh, it's Ireland. Oh, anyway, there's a man on back and the man on back in countryside, and there's a baby in the basket in the middle of the road. So he brings it home to his wife, and then it looks, and it's a bit like Luke's 1960s kind of, but it's confusing because I'm not sure. And so he brought it home to his wife, and then the policeman comes round to investigate where this baby's come from, and then the couple, they say, yeah, we'll look after him. And then we go a bit further in time, and we see a birthday cake, and he's having his birthday, and his little baby, and they've officially adopted him. And Brendan, this ginger kid, I was wondering all the way through whether the fact that he was ginger was significant. And he's grown up on this farm, and then there's a nurse checking up on him, and it's like it's an ideal happy childhood. And then we go back to, and it's the doctor in the farm. They're in the future, and they've got these coordinates, and the doctor's made these gadgets, which is really cool, but a shame we didn't see her making the gadgets. But she's got these little gadgets, and then she scans the town, and she's like, there's 7 humans left. Oh yeah, by the way, Cyberman came, got rid of all the humans, so only 7 left. And there's not really the right time to tell you that, is there? So they go down into the middle of this town, and this town does look like it was the old-fashioned town that Brendan was in and that's why I thought. So there's all these 7 humans, but they've all got weird names, so it's really hard to keep track and to be able to spell the names correctly. Why can't they just call like Dave, Barry, Gaz? Like no, they have to be called Biscotti, Pink Panther Biscuit, Fraggle. It's like, why do you have to give me so many hard to spell names? Jibbers. And then the woman's like, yeah, I've got it organised, I promise you we can do it, to this bloke, I don't know if he's husband or anything, and this kid. But then these cyber spaceships, they've turned up and they're too early. And he's like, oh no, it's too early. And then the doctor and fam turn up, says, we're alright, we're offering help, just tell us how we can help. Don't mind where we're from, just tell us how we can help. So they set up this equipment, said get everyone into the building, and Graham's all, and each of the family is explaining what each of the gadgets does. I like that bit. I wish there'd been like, I'd like more of that kind of stuff if we are keeping all the fam for the next series, more of them each explaining what a gadget does. That'd be fun. I like that a lot. I love the gadgets. And Graham's all, bish bash bosh, put it here. And it's like, is a gadget and it puts all the emotions back inside me. And then there's a gold particle disperser, and it's just chucks gold glitter at everything, basically. And then Ryan says, this is me force field gadget, and they explain it to the humans, and one of the other humans say, why do you care? You don't care. Nobody cares about us. And the doctor says, we care. Whatever happens, we care. We'll fight the Cyberman. So they're hiding the humans. But then it turns up there's cyber drones, and these gadgets they've made are bloody useless. I was really disappointed with that. Like, would the doctor really make these tiny little, let's spray glitter? Just seemed unrealistic that the doctor, he's fought these Cybermen when he was 12 in that big story, which is an awesome story. So he'd just have a glitter sprayer. And this emotion thing, but it'd just be like a thing on tripod on 3 legs in the middle of a field. Would they really do that? It's like, she's fought the Cybermen before, they had a big massive battle on that spaceship, and it's just, oh yeah, I'll just have a glitter sprayer. Chibnall, why would you write it like that? It's just weird. It just didn't make sense. But then it didn't, all them gadgets were pointless because these cyber drones. So the cyber drones, a blatant merchandising opportunity of, it's a cyber head that you can fly. So basic merchandise tie-in, which was a bit obvious. So they all come flying in, the cyber heads, and the fam is like, get down, get down! And they're talking the defences. This guy called Fusco, he looks like he's a more vulnerable human, and is like, so they try and protect him, but Fusco's like, no, stop running, and they zap him. So, well, what we're meant to do is like, ooh, it's like, there's so many, he puts all these humans, we barely get to even know with them, and then it's just really difficult. Man, if this was a 3-parter, and we had 11 episodes this series, then maybe it would be better if we actually got to know these humans first, and then we had the Brendan bit in the middle, and then we had the other bit at the end. That instead it's, I think it needs to be a 3-parter really. So Ravio and Fika, it's like, why do they have to have silly sci-fi names? Just make it easy. So the doctor tells him, go with the humans, you'll never get to the TARDIS, it's too far away. Well, why'd you park it so far away for? It's like, none of this makes sense. It's just Chibnall, what are you doing? It's really out of character, unless that's an indication. And so she's telling him to run, go with the humans. The doctor can do it. So Yaz and Graham get to the Gravraft spaceship with these humans, but Ryan's still hiding because he got left behind, and then the doctor finds him, It's like, what are you still doing here? And then this Ashad the cyber guy, turns up in the building, and with the man, I've just put man and lad, woman, boy, lad, man, because I couldn't keep up with their weird names. The man is, I think, is Cat. He is shot by the Cyberman, and then the Cyberman's like, hang on, you're Ethan, you could tell everybody, spread the message about me. Like, who's he gonna spread it to? There's no humans left. He's a kid. He hasn't got a spaceship because they've gone off without him. Like, if you want some, like, why would you pick that person to spread the message of the scary Cyberman? There's no one to tell. That was a bit silly. Why would you say that? And then the Doctor's got this grenade and she chucks it in, and the Doctor, Ethan, Ryan, they run off, and then they go to steal a cyber ship, and they're stealing the cyber ship. Then we go switch scenes altogether, and we're back on Brendan's story. So we're back in time and it's the police station, Garda. That's when I thought, oh, maybe it's not Yorkshire. And Brendan's applying to be a guard, policeman, basically. And then the cop who is interviewing him, my first thought at that point was he's really fit. But anyway, so he's going to be a guard. But then we're back with Yaz and Graham, and in the grav raft heading to this Koshamis, and it's a boundary on Koshamis, a gateway to another part of the universe. And at first I thought, oh, I wonder if they can get to Rose's world. Rose is going to appear. And then we're in the cyber ship with the Doctor, even Ryan, and the systems, and they can't fly, and Ryan's feeling a bit travel sick, but his Doctor's got umbugs. So I thought that was cute. The Doctor had umbugs. Just pack of umbugs. I like when this mentions food. And then they find about Ethan's story, and he was born in the midst of the cyber war, and he's a wartime baby, and this is all he's ever known. So I wonder if Ryan's going to be okay, and Ethan goes to live with Ryan somehow. I don't know. And then this Cyberman, the lone Ashad the Cyberman, his hologram appears in the cyber ship, and he starts talking about like his plan and stuff. In the Doctor's like listening to his story, and she's telling him some own truths, and he's like, and Ashad's like, yeah, you're right, and the Doctor's like, yeah, what? Aren't you angry? I'll charge you for therapy. I thought that was good. And another point was interesting, was they were on this cyber warhead, and the Doctor was fiddling with hacking this thing. It's like, oh, I used to do this when I was younger, and the teenagers, they was annoying at me because I kept fiddling with all this stuff. And it's like, this goes into my theory a bit, so I might hold off. But it's like, she used to do that all the time with cyber technology on Gallifrey when she was young. Why was there cyber technology on Gallifrey? Or is she just referring to hacking into stuff and changing stuff and taking bits apart and things? Because I'm not sure. But first, I like that. That when she's young, she used to fiddle with like deconstructing things and changing things and engineering. I like the engineering nod again. That was good. And And then we're back with Brendan, and he's chasing this Robbie who shot him. And then Brendan falls off this cliff, and he's like, oh. And then the other coppers come up and want to check on it, and he goes, and he wakes up just like Captain Jack did. So that is what we're debating, is that is just like how Captain Jack wakes up when he's does his immortal thing. So that's interesting. And then Brendan gets like a bit in the paper how he's a hero and he's at home eating his dinner. For that's good. And then in the grav raft, there's scraping and banging on the outside of the ship, and the grav raft's floating in space by now. And there's a sort of a funny little looking model shot of this grav raft, and it's just wobbling about in space. I wonder if that was just a nod to classic Who, because that would have been interesting. But the main theory is that the Gallifrey stole a load of Cybermen tech. So anyway, so Yaz goes to look out the window, see what's outside, and it's loads of dead Cybermen. And then they see some dormant ships, and one of the dormant ships got its doors open so they can, and Yaz and Graham's like, we can speed it towards that dormant ship and get into the big ship. And then, where am I? I've forgotten where I am now. So they're walking, they get to the thing, into the big ship. And the side guards and Ashad are real close on the tail. And then the doctor's got this, the communicator. She can communicate to Co-Sharmus, and she's like, Co-Sharmus, can you hear us? Co-Sharmus, can you hear us? And this old guy said, yes, this is Co-Sharmus. And he's an old guy, and he's like called Co-Sharmus, but it's also on this like, I don't know if the planet's also called Co-Sharmus, whatever. And then Yaz and Graham's like, come a long way, Graham O'Brien, and Yaz is proud of him for being like brave and stuff. And then Graham with this woman, the Ravio, they go to level 139, and he's doing his Cockney rhyming slang and said, oh, let's have butchers. You know, Cockney rhyming slang, butchers and Luke. I love that. I love that they gave it Cockney rhyming slang explanation. And then there's another debate going on, and he says, and the most normal bloke you've ever seen, and I think he says like dogs do doors, or like the doctor's opposite, like is the opposite of the doctor, the most ordinary normal bloke. But then I think he was obviously going to use more rhyming slang, more Cockney, but obviously that wouldn't work, because he says she just told him he's strange after he used his Cockney, so he's going to say more Cockney to say I'm not strange, so he just used, but then he realised she thinks Cockney is strange, so he just uses normal English. So they find out that this ship they're on is a troop carrier with thousands and thousands of just huge numbers of Cybermen, and they're sort of in stasis on the ship. And then we're back with the Doctor, Ryan and Ethan, and this Gandalf-y type Co-Sharmus guy, and he's talking about the boundary, and he's helped everyone else through this boundary, but he's stayed behind just in case there's more humans. And then back with the cyber raft, and it's been boarded, and Ashad has got to the big ship, and Yazzy's like trying to be the Doctor, and she's trying to be all confident and telling everybody what to do, and that we're gonna save people, it's gonna be great. And then the soldiers Ashad starts awakening the other soldiers. And then with the doctor and Kushamis, he's telling her, just walk forward a bit, this boundary will appear, and this big vortex starts opening over the sea. And then we see go back to Brendan, and he's retiring. He's done a real good job as a copper, and he's got his mantle clock as his retirement gift. But then he goes into this office, and the other copper who employed him and his dad, they haven't aged, and they're right there, and they're strapping him to this memory wiper. And the Cybermen are waking up on the cyber ship. And then Yaz is on the communicator to the doctor and Koshamis. And another thing I don't like about that, Yaz, are you there, Yaz? And it's like, Yaz. Like when you stop talking to somebody on the communicator and the other person like is like, are you there, Yaz? It's like, Yaz, answer, for goodness sake. When they don't answer on the communicator, so. And then vortex, and he opens, and it shows the destroyed version of Gallifrey, and Koshamis says something ambiguous, says, I've never seen it look like that before. Now we don't know whether means he's never seen Gallifrey destroyed, or he's been seen at a completely different place. So, and then the Master appears, and Sasha Dewan, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, I just call him Sasha, because I'm not as sure. Amazing entrance, amazing chemistry with 13, and I'd love to see, I'm excited to see the chemistry in the next episode, but I'd love to see more of them together, but not so much fighting, but it's just chemistry is just fireworks all over when Jodie and Sasha are together on the screen. It's amazing. So I really like him. So my theory, how Brendan related to the Cybermen. So we see the Brendan bit, I reckon, is the Cybermen on board, they're in stasis, and they are in, as they're in this troop carrier, I don't know if this is it for all the Cybermen, but the Cybermen that Ashad drilled into and started to, and made him scream, that was Brendan, and his simulation is him being found as a baby and just growing up as a copper, and that's his simulation. And then when Ashad is awakening him, that's when the copper and his dad come in and put that thing on his head, and it's a simulation that just keeps looping round on the troop ship for each Cyberman, and they have that playing until they are woken up to do the cyber army job. And the Cybermen on the ship, they are the timeless children, the Cybermen. So the Cybermen use this, have this technology from Mondas, I guess, of the chameleon circuit, which Gallifrey took Cybermen technology of chameleon circuits and used it on like on their own citizens. And the chameleon circuit technology is actually Cyberman tech. So Cyberman tech is what is on the TARDIS. TARDIS is partly grown from Cyberman tech, and this Cyberman forgetting tech was used on the Doctor and the Master. They're test subjects or something, I'm not entirely sure, but so, and I think that Yaz and Graham, I think possibly all the fam are going to get out okay, because Yaz and Graham are going to get picked up by the Doctor. She's going to save them. For, like, she could have saved Adric. That she knows now how to do it, and Todd, she's got this knowledge of how to save someone. For like, and she's going to save Yaz and Graham at the last minute. Maybe Graham's going to save Ravio as well, and that's going to be his new missus. And then she saves him, so it's like a closure for not saving Adric. And because apparently Chris Chibnall just loved Earthshock and the Adric moment, so I wonder if he's going to have some sort of closure. So related to that. So I think if we look that Brendan is that Cyberman on the ship, it kind of starts to make sense as a whole episode. But I don't know whether Chris Chibnall intended us to be really confused about who Brendan is and what how his story is relevant, or whether he thought it would be an obvious thing. Oh, of course they're going to know that Brendan is the simulation of that Cyberman's getting, but it's time to awaken that Cyberman now, and they're all awakened out of the simulations, and they're timeless children, because they keep reliving their childhood. So I don't know. It's so confusing. And so I'm kind of nervous is Chibnall is gonna mess with the I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm just nervous that he's gonna mess about too much, but obviously there's no canon specifically. But I'm really excited, and Sasha, especially with the master's got gorgeous floppy fringe, which I love, and he's a sexist master. Oh, what's gonna happen? And then we see the preview, and the Gandalf type guy is talking to Ryan and said, "You can be a pacifist leader. What you must do now is fight." And I think possibly Ryan is gonna be. I hope Ryan's gonna be okay, but I think he's gonna want to like leave and he's just gonna not want to do this anymore. But if we had, I mean, and I have to see whether I love all of them. I think they're all great, and I think it's Series 12 is amazing, but it's really made me appreciate Series 11 a lot more, because although I already love Series 11 anyway, well, it's made me appreciate that Series 11 is chill, and they're all bonding and getting together and happy and stuff, because Series 12 has been emo, and this is so emotionally difficult, Series 12. But I'm glad he is actually pleasing some of the lifelong fans, and I really love the show, and I want the Doctor to be okay and have hugs, and Yaz to be okay and actually get to hug the Doctor. It's like So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. Yay.